You all, we are not licensed professionals. We are just here on this roller coaster called life, trying to be better friends to one another, trying to be better human beings on this planet. If you're tuning in, we are not opting out of therapy. We are not advocating that you listen to us and not see someone who is licensed and trained to help you with day-to-day life on how to cope and deal. So we advocate for therapy a lot here. We believe that everyone has something to talk to somebody about. So, just like to make that disclaimer that we're just here giving our opinions and having discussions week by week. And we're hoping that, maybe you can find something useful, or if at least find a little humor in this terrible, terrible rock we call the world.
In other words, if you listen to our advice and you get popped in the mouth, don't at us.
Yeah, don't at me because you may get popped in the mouth again. Welcome back to another episode of the Friendship University podcast. It's a podcast where we come over here week after week, hoping that in us, encouraging ourselves and, just spilling all of our business about what we are going through and who we are trying to become will help you to understand that it is a journey and people are our greatest resource. So don't ever feel like you can throw them away. Hashtag progression over perfection. Hashtag people are our greatest resource. Hashtag keep it 100 because we are in the 100-day challenge. By the time you all get to this episode, we'll be almost 2 weeks in. So, how was the first week, Tarrah? For
It
you?
was pretty good. It was pretty good. I wish I would have been more focused on it. I wasn't as focused on it as I would like to have been, but I did pick up my instrument. I did study some things. So I just want to be even more diligent this week.
Okay.
I did
Intentional? More
practice.
intentional?
Yes, more intentional. And I think that'll be with me adding more to my schedule. So like being like, I think I just need to set an alarm. So I'm gonna
Mm.
do that. Like 100-day challenge practice.
You have alarms for a lot of things, I feel like.
I do, but I didn't add 100-day challenge alarm. I
That's
didn't.
fair.
I didn't do it. I didn't even
I
think to do it till now. So
I have I do have a daily reminder because of my work schedule. I can't do it at the same time every day, but it is something that will remind me and pop up throughout the day if I don't mark it as complete. I do wish I would have been more intentional about sharing some of the
okay.
progress or whatever for sure, because I feel like week one was cool. You kind of like are on fire a little bit. It's always like exciting in the beginning. So I definitely feel like I accomplished more than I have in the
Oh, very
past.
good. Very good.
Yeah, so I did intermittent fasting. I've been still doing that, and outside of like my normal workout routine, I have a walking pad that I have under my desk now because I have a standing desk.
Oh, very
And
cool.
so when I'm working, I just walk on my walking pad.
So what is a walking path? The thing that goes like this?
Yeah, it's like a mini treadmill essentially.
How
Yeah.
cute!
I have been doing it sporadically, but not like I did it almost every day this week. So,
That's
and I mean, it's like
awesome.
it's a little getting used to the movement and like working because I'm still working and taking like I was in a few meetings. I was like, if you see me moving, it's because I have a walking pad. So sorry. So I'm not, moonwalking on the beat or anything like that. But it's actually really cool. Like it's super convenient to have. It's not loud at all. I was worried about neighbors below me hearing it. I have it on a rug, so it's not on my bare hardwood
Did you get it off
floors.
of TikTok?
No,
Like
I
the
got
one
it
on
off.
TikTok?
I haven't seen the one on TikTok. I got off of
Okay.
Amazon last year, Prime Day,
Okay.
because it was on sale. Like it's normally, yeah, it's significantly cheaper than its normal price, and it
Oh
had super good,
wow.
yeah, it had super good ratings, and it has a lot of settings. So it actually is nice. Like, and after a while, you don't even realize you're doing it. Like, the other day I was working, I walked for like 3 hours on it. I didn't even realize it. I was just like working, and then I like took a break to break my fast and go eat lunch, and I didn't realize. I looked down, like it was like 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Oh my God, that's gonna be amazing. I love that for you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I just turn it on, and I just go. I just work and do what I got to do with it. I probably
So
won't do it in meetings anymore because I just look
yeah, I wouldn't.
crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it anymore.
But when I'm just regularly working, I'm gonna walk on it.
That's amazing. I love that because I feel like that's gonna be huge. Like with that over the next 6 weeks, I bet you'll see like a huge difference.
That's
Yeah,
the goal. I really
that's so
enjoy,
good.
like, what I will say is I have to now be mindful of my other cardio and like doing my morning runs, or because you can, the other day after I did that 3 hour walk on it, I had also done a morning run, and I found myself a little tired at the end of the day, and I was like, why am I
Mhm.
so tired? And then I realized, like, you technically had done like four
So did you count
hours
your steps?
Yeah, I had like 12,000.
That's good. When I was on the cruise, we were getting like 13, 14, 15,000. We was like, oh snap, we was eating a mess, but we was like, at least we got a lot of steps.
I got 12,000, not including my run. So that was, I mean, I'm like, it works
That's
itself out for sure.
amazing.
Yeah, it definitely works itself out. And like I said, it's just convenient. Like it's just there. You don't even, after a while, once you get in the flow, because I'm not going to lie, it does take a little time of getting coordinated with it. Like
Hmm.
you're not thinking about walking, but if you're working at a desk and you're like typing, or you just have to have that kind of coordination. But once you get used to that, which it doesn't take long at all, like after the first day, it was like, okay. And and it was like, yeah, really did not realize it. Like I was listening to something, I was working. I looked up, I was like, oh, it's like 30 minutes past the time. I can break my fast. Let me go make some lunch. I cut it off. I was like, okay. Walking past. Now I'm a TikTok girly, I guess, because I've seen them on TikTok before.
Period.
I
You
have,
are.
I have heard about them on TikTok. I haven't seen them, but
Hmm.
um, yeah. If you can get you one, and if you feel like you won't be stomping the yard, like if you're not super super like heavy footed in the sense that you feel like you're gonna make a lot of noise, it is just like a super easy way to get your steps in and get cardio in
Hmm.
every single day. So I'm
Hmm.
glad I got it before. They've been blowing up. So I went back to Amazon to like look at some, just look, and the prices of them are kind of crazy right now. You could probably find one though during the holidays or something. You know, they have like Thanksgiving's coming up in a few months, so they'll probably have a Black Friday deal or something. Cyber Monday.
That's so dope. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
I wish I would have recorded. So I'm gonna try to record more.
Okay.
I have like a tripod and everything, so I can maybe set that up and just start getting some B-roll footage so you all can really see us on this journey. We're hoping to hear from you all soon. So, and whatever you're doing, whatever your goal is, tag us at Funny Podcast on all platforms. Comment, share it, let people know that you're on this journey with us. Hashtag keep it 100. Yeah, it's been interesting. So we're rooting for you all still, and can't wait to hear all of the awesome stories over the next few weeks of what you all have to share. As you all know, you can anticipate episodes from us every Friday, Friendship Fridays. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew,
Pew, pew.
pew, 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 pew. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Uh, okay, anywho, in other news, R.I.P. to Fat Man Scoop.
If you
That
would, chicken
is,
head. I
All the
know.
chicken heads, be quiet.
Quiet. All the chickens. If you, what you
Who
say?
go? Somebody
What is
said,
good?
all my single ladies, I can't hear
Yeah,
y'all. All my
yeah.
single
All the
lows,
single ladies.
make
Got
noise. You got
noise.
a $20 bill, get your
Put
hands
your
up.
hands
You
up.
got a $50 bill, put your
Put
hands
your
up.
hands
You
up.
got a $100 bill, put your hands. Who gonna tell the chicken heads to be quiet
Who gonna tell them?
now?
Who? Who?
Oh, that is so
So
sad
sad. He
though.
was only 53.
He was only
That's
53
young.
and collapsing on stage is like,
That's sad,
man,
yo.
it is. What I will say though is, as sad as the story has been of his passing, the narrative of how much joy and happiness he brought
Oh.
to many lives, to the musical space as a DJ and artist and producer and everything, um really warmed my heart. I was like, man, everybody like remembers those infamous taglines. And I
Yeah.
we so the people, they have taglines now, but I don't know if they got taglines like we had back in the day. I was thinking like we had, you knew Dark Child, you had Dark Child, did it? Like you knew it when
Mm-hmm.
it dropped. You knew the Pharrell, DJ Scoop. You know, you just knew it. Mike
Mm-hmm.
Will made it. Like you knew it. You knew it when it was dropping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if today we got as many people doing that. Do they still do drops?
They do. I know DJ Mustard talk about his.
But DJ Mustard also too been around
Yeah, that's true.
too.
That's true.
I'm like the newer people. Do
I
they
don't keep up with
have?
the newest people. You know.
Yeah, me either. I'm gonna have to, if y'all know, if listeners, if you all know of some people, because you knew what you were in store for when you heard that drop. It really made you
Yeah.
excited. You knew you was ready for it. New Monica, like you knew it. You knew it
You
was gonna be
did.
fire.
You
So
did.
let us know. Let us know in the comments if y'all know anybody who got a fire drop. Anybody we need to be looking up. Any up and coming people.
He was an intricate part of my teenage years because Save the Last Dance, that club scene, it would have been the same. Like he was in that club scene. That Save the Last Dance. Yeah, he was.
Did you
I
see the
just
video of the girl redoing the Julia Stiles dance? And we was
how we thought
like,
it was so fire, but it really wasn't. But to us, it was so fire. It was like such a big moment. Dun. Like it
live
was
your
just.
dream.
It's not as hard as it may seem. That soundtrack
Gotta work. It
ate
was
a little bit.
good. We don't really talk about the Save the Last Dance soundtrack. That
I
actually,
get green. I mean, like young Kerry Washington. It was like a moment.
it was. It
It's
was.
like her breakout role, was it not?
I would say that's probably where we saw her in the most mainstream role for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even really reference that
It's
as
a big
her
deal.
start. Like for a lot of people, she's Olivia Pope, and she'll always be Olivia Pope.
I know, but she got her start in Save
But
the
she
Last
got
Dance.
her start in Save the Last Dance. And
She did.
honestly, we don't talk about the fact that a lot of, I'm not gonna say her characters are the same, but when Kerry Washington shows you that her name is Kerry Washington, very black, very mindful, very demure, very black, and she acts like that, we don't think about the fact that that's how she was in Save the Last Dance. Like, she was like, "What you got against my brother?"
Brother. Yeah,
Had
she
that.
gave
She had that curly bob, that Jerry
you
curl
that
bob.
curly bob. Hey, was really cute.
She was
Real
like,
cute.
"You look country bumpkin. Come here, let me help you." And you
Yeah,
know the
she
funny thing is that there the scene where
she
they're going to the club and she got that
she took
little
her
limited two
she
thing
took her
on.
she took her little thing off and
I
put it around her head and
I
had some
had a
earrings.
cardigan set just like that from Limited Two, and I
Okay.
started wearing my cardigan on my head like that. I did that for like a couple of weeks,
I could see that.
but it was kind of
It's
heavy, so
like,
I
yeah,
stopped
It looked like you
with my
about
hoop
to
earrings. And she
She was
was a
like,
real
"Here,
one because she
here."
took her earrings off and gave them to her, and they
She,
wasn't
but
even
she
best
did. She
friends.
did.
That was true. She was true. She was a woman for women. We talk about women being for women. She was a woman for being for women's. Like, have you not out here looking crazy? I appreciate that. Save the
It's
Last
like,
Dance
uh-uh.
was a staple in my mind. So I often learned a lot of the dances from videos, movies, all kind of stuff. And so I learned all of those dances. And at the time I thought I was killing it. And then when I haven't done them since I was a child, clearly. When that girl posted that video of that Julia staff and I went back and did it, I said, oh, yeah, she really had us all fooled. It's interesting
Did
what the young mind perceives as like mind blowing
like, oh
versus
my
like
God.
as an adult. We don't take that
Wow.
into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it was just a time, and that was my
Mm-hmm.
first exposure to like Jamaican reggae sounds like that. I had never heard.
In
I was like,
Chicago,
oh
for
snap.
some reason, I
Murder
have
She Wrote.
this.
I was like, oh snap. I didn't know the song was about. But like, yeah, that was my first time
Yeah,
hearing.
I for some reason I had growing up, and I guess maybe even still till you and I became friends, and I learned a little bit more about Chicago. I had this thought in my mind that Chicago was almost like a melting pot, like New York, a little bit.
Hmm.
So I didn't know like
You, you know
that you
what?
all didn't have like, or maybe just are the neighborhoods just separate, like y'all just don't intermingle with one another.
Yes, that's it. That's very much it. So I think it really depends on what area you at. The neighborhoods are very clustered. It's like you got Chinatown and you got like little Mexico, and then like where it's a lot of Italians, and then where it's a lot of Greek people, where it's a lot of any, but they not all mixed up unless you're like
Mm.
downtown, and nobody really lives downtown unless you got downtown money. So most people live, on a side or like in a nearby suburb. And where I grew up, it was like mainly African Americans and white, until as I got a little older, it became African American and Hispanic, more Mexican.
Oh yeah, I when I first visited your home, I was like, "This is like so cool. This is city. This is a brownstone walk up, and we in the city, baby."
No, we are not. We are not in the city. Now, my grandmother's house, my father's mother really was a brownstone in the city. Yeah, but then as times progressed, that area started to go down rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's probably some kind of gentrification project, but they
Oh,
let the
probably.
area go down and then lose all its value. Then they come in and
So they
buy it
can
up
buy it up and then build it up, and then
and
it's
flip
like
it.
and flip it. Yeah, that's how they do it. It's
They buy and
happening.
hold and all that.
It's happening everywhere.
Mm.
Speaking of money in downtown, and so today I have an event that I'm supposed to be going to, and I wanted to go try to find a nice outfit for it. So I was like, let me go. I have not been to like a mall or like a shopping center area
Mm.
since I moved out here. So I heard about this really nice place. Supposed to be pretty much like the Phipps Plaza, Rodeo Drive kind of area here.
Mm.
Tell me why I pull up. I park. First of all, parking garages not existed. You parking on the street or you valeting. That's something that I'm getting used to out here.
Oh wow.
I park on the street. I'm walking up to this store, and the doors are locked. This is like the middle of the afternoon. I'm like, I know it's Sunday, but now I don't typically close till like 6. It's early afternoon. So the man is like saying something from inside the glass, and I can't hear what he's saying. And he's like, da da. I'm like, y'all close. Should I use the other door? What's going on? So then this lady walks around. She's like, oh baby, there was an active shooter out here. So all the stores have closed. I said, active shooter? Oh, that's Gucci. But Hermes is. Y'all, what? It can happen. I said, now y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. What you mean, active shooter out here? And people were just like sitting around, like I guess waiting for their rides, or I don't know what was happening. It was so, and when I pulled up, I was like, there are a lot of people out here just walking around. It looked like they were congregated more so than just like dispersed and walking into the store. So I thought that was a little weird, but I was like, maybe it's just Sunday and they're trying to figure out their next move. But I could not believe it. I'm like, this is the capital of the United States. I see a crack deal one week. Now there's an active shooter the next week. Like, y'all, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Everything that glitter ain't gold. What you see is not what you really see. You gotta really use your minds. I don't want to do my Dr. Umar right now, but open up your eyes and actually see what's in front of you, because I could not believe it. I said, I just came out here for a nice outfit. The one day I finally decided to get out on the town and gallivant. Y'all want to be out here shooting?
Wow.
I could not believe it. Thank God, doesn't seem like anybody was injured. I didn't hear anything about any injuries or deaths. I was looking at our local news station, but I just don't know. I just don't know.
Very
Yes.
Ugh.
Very, it's giving very, very ghetto. Not the ghetto. Shout out to Nene Leaks.
Which is tough because if you go to a little country town, it's like nowhere to shop. You have to order everything. So it's like, but if you're in near a major city, you're gonna have more crime. You know.
And I only went out there because it had a variety of things that the stores that I'm accustomed to going for and looking through.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, see, this is why I do my shopping online, because y'all ain't got no sense. Don't nobody got time for that. See, when I hit that checkout button on my phone, I don't have to worry about shoot them up, bam. I don't got to worry about that. I'm just
Mm-mm.
going to check out. What I do have to worry about is shipping and handling, which is why I went out to the mall in the first place, because this particular store, I will not name them, had me messed up because I was supposed to get free shipping and then I did not. I was supposed to get free expedited shipping and I did not. And I was like,
Mm.
no, cancel the whole order. So
Mm.
then, but now joke's on me because I'm outside with an active shooter. So I should have just
So we
got
advise
it in the
you
first
were kept.
place.
You were kept. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have time to do any online shopping, so I'll probably go to my trusty places of where I know I can potentially find something. This particular event has a dress code, so I'm trying to adhere. Can I just say a popular opinion? I don't like dress codes. I don't like themes where you tell
What's your
me
dress code?
all black with silver. And yes, all black is easy a lot of times, but I don't like it. I don't like to be told what I have to wear. Like, if you're going to do that, give me a spectrum. Give me like the option to wear, okay, we're in the tan family. We're doing that. Or we're doing soft neutral colors. Let's do that. Like, we all, in theory, it's beautiful, right? Like, for example, uh Kevin and Melissa Fredericks just did their 25th vow renewal, right? And she had a dress code in the sense of, she was like, these are the shades and the colors we want it to look cohesive. Everybody, she did Pinterest board, she sent out color schemes, everybody. So it looked beautiful on camera, but it also gave people the option to wear what they wanted to wear. It didn't just box them into everybody wear white, everybody wear orange, everybody wear this. I don't like it. All white parties, keep it. I don't want to be told what to wear. I don't like it. I just want to wear what I want to wear. And I had already, when I learned about it, When I learned about the event, I was like, oh, I have a cute dress for that already. I can wear it. It's not black, so I cannot wear it. So then I'm like, all right, let me find a black dress that's appropriate for this event. I don't like it. I don't like it. My wedding, the only dress code will be, I don't even know. It won't have a dress code per se, but it's going to give, if you try to upstage me, I will put you out. Security. That's the only, that's going to be the only dress code.
Not possible.
I
Who can
will, I
try?
will, I've seen people try. I have seen it with my own two eyes, unfortunately. People who do not understand to give people their day. And granted, I don't think I have anyone in my camp that would do that. But you just never know. So, anywho, RIP to Fat Man Scoop. Prayers out to Mariah Carey, who also lost her sister and her mother hours apart on the same day, which is crazy.
So was it like their passings connected, or they just happened to both?
Not to my knowledge. The only
Wow.
thing that I read about the situation, specifically from Mariah, is her posting that happened, and then there a friend of her sister's who had been in hospice with her that whole week was saying that this was about to happen. She apparently was suffering from some form of cancer, I believe.
Mm.
I cannot remember. Forgive me if it's not cancer or if I can't remember what particular cancer it was, but it was a terminal illness that she was suffering from, and
Her
so
sister.
her sister, yeah, with her mother, I'm not too sure what was happening there. No, nobody spoke about that. So, um, I mean, losing a parent is obviously tough enough. Losing a sibling is hard. Losing them both within hours of one another, I cannot imagine the
Can't imagine.
grief that would bring onto someone. So our prayers are with you and your family.
Hmm.
Um, I saw this interesting post from, you know, Yandy and Mendices, I believe is his name, from
Yeah.
Love and Hip
Hmm.
Hop. Okay, so they were going viral because they were talking to a marriage counselor. They've been going through some issues. And it was revealed that during this whole uproar of issues, Mendices has not been wearing his wedding ring. And
Mm.
so I was wondering, do you think it's disrespectful for a spouse to stop wearing their wedding ring during marital problems? Like if y'all just like having difficulties, not necessarily on the verge of separation or divorce, but y'all just having some serious problems. Do you feel like it's disrespectful if your spouse stops wearing their wedding ring?
I would have to say 100% yes. I think it's disrespectful because you're still married. Like if you, I think it's just an act of rebellion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like let me hurt your feelings. Let me get you back. Let me just try to separate myself from this relationship or not have to look at this reminder every day, but you're still married. So whether you take it off or not, you're still married. But I do think it's disrespectful if you were wearing it before and then because we're having problems, you decide to take it off. It shows a lack of commitment.
My question would be, what are you trying to convey by not wearing it?
Rebellion. No, I'm just,
Like, I
you're
mean,
100%
I
like,
would agree
I don't
that's
want to,
probably rebellion.
yeah,
Just
it's like,
rebellion. It's you're probably trying to hurt me in some
a
form or
defiance,
fashion.
like let me get you back in some passive aggressive way. It's childish to me. It's a very like almost very immature.
I think if you're married to someone and you've made that commitment of this definite covenant between you two, to simply take a moment of discourse, to take off the symbolic jewelry that we both have given one another to implicate that we're in this is, like you said, I think it's rebellion. I think it's immature. I think you are trying to like cause some type of discourse or pain, or you're trying to like get back. Because what's the reason? Like, what are you trying to symbolize? At the end of the day, if you feel like the wedding ring is supposed to symbolize a union and a connection between you and this other person, does this discord mean that that union is now null and void?
Yeah, it's kind of to me saying I'm no longer in this. Like I'm done. To me, if you're continuing to take it off and act like you're not married.
I have known
Like it's
individuals who have separated and have not taken their wedding rings off. They still
yeah.
wear them during the separation.
Yeah. I think it just depends on that's what I'm saying. If they're mentally there's like we're going through things like that right now, but I'm still committed, they might keep it on. But if mentally they're like, yeah, no, I'm not committed. I don't want to look at this on my finger. I want to act like it doesn't exist. Unfortunate.
I 100% agree. If if I'm beefing with my spouse and they take that wedding ring off, you may as well call me BK because that beef getting grilled now. Now I'm grilling.
Yeah, it's just an act of defiance. Like I want to hurt your feelings, or I
Which is
want to
so
act out.
childish. Why are
It's
you
childish.
like
It's childish. Yeah, it's
what I
childish.
found what I found the most interesting about the conversation of it being between Yandy and Medicis is because Yandy wore that ring the whole time Medicis was locked up.
I'm not laughing.
I'm just saying. Like, and y'all technically on paper were not legally married. Y'all had not got married before he went
And
to
that was her
jail.
choice. And
And
that
her
was her choice.
choice was to still show the world I am
That she's
committed
with
to
me.
you
I'm committed
while
to you.
yo
Although
behind
you're in
is
jail.
locked up behind bars and I'm raising your children
Oh
and
wow.
you're put away.
Mm, that's sad.
It's I just want
People
I
not always gonna do you how you do them. Like
don't
treat you how you treat them.
and we got to start paying attention to that. We have to
Yeah.
start paying attention to the way people treat us in comparison to the way we treat them. Not in the sense of you should always be looking for reciprocity in the sense of someone should be giving you the exact same thing that you're giving back, but there should be reciprocity. If I have shown you respect throughout our entire union or whatever you call it, I expect respect back. But if that person has shown you that they're incapable of respect, see, this is where we mess up. We think we're the exception to the rule. However
Baby.
they treat,
That's so true.
however that person treats every other person in their lives, their family, their friends, mother, father, best friend, cousin, is the way they're gonna treat you, and that's just the bottom line. Now, it may
Bottom
not
line.
start off that way. They
Bottom
may
line.
make you feel different. They may
You're
make you
not
feel
different.
special. You're not different.
You're
You're
not
not
different.
special.
You're
You
not
are
special.
going to get the same treat because people aren't as complicated as we make it. We're not
They're not.
multifaceted human beings in the sense of personality.
Yeah.
We typically, unless diagnosed by a doctor, have one personality. So we can hide it for a little while to get what
Yeah.
we want. But
Yeah.
the person who we truly are, our actual innate response in character is going to show itself eventually. So you gotta
Yeah.
watch how they interact with other people. I just want people to stop embarrassing one another. Like, why are you
Oh,
getting married to people to embarrass them? I do not I understand psychologically of why people make decisions, but in my like basic of minds, it's like, why are you doing this to just then turn around and make a fool of this person?
yeah.
You're crazy. What is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
You know, some people have a sabotage thing that they carry with them where if something's going right, they They are broken within, so they have to break it, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's where that healing, personal, responsibility to deal with the demons that are you've been going through and been facing in yourself and in your family, what have you. You have to do, because if you don't, you'll bleed on people who did not hurt you, and you will take things out on people who are really down for you and love you, and just so you can say, I knew, nobody loved me, when
Leave me
you
like
really,
everybody else does
I knew everybody was against me. I knew you were just like everyone else. When that
because you're
was not the
sick.
case, you had that belief system, and you created that experience for yourself. The human mind is a powerful thing. If you
Yeah.
believe something, you'll probably experience. You'll probably find yourself in that place, and so um, that's where it's like, man, things are going well. Why can't you just accept that? Why can't you be happy in that? Why can't you, you know, be present in this moment instead of like finding something to be angry at or something to be upset about? But that's what personal accountability, personal healing, personal responsibility comes in, because someone can be so good to you. I mean, do hold you down, be great to you, and you just still cannot receive it or see it. And it's not because they weren't good to you. It's just that something in you won't allow yourself to accept that. So that's sad.
Yeah, it's totally what you said. Of people are their own saboteurs, and then
Hmm.
sometimes it's also about the whole. I know it's going to crumble eventually. Let me just crumble it now before
Yeah,
I
let me wreck
get
it
too
before reject
happy.
you, before you reject
Yeah,
me, or insecurity. I want to hurt. I want to, knock you down a peg. I want to control you. I want you to feel, I want to control the situation. I want to be empowered in the relationship, so I'm going to do something to make her feel out of control. I don't know their whole situation, so I can't speak to that. But it's a lot of reasons why people do certain things that it's like not in kind. It's like, man, she did this for you. Wouldn't you want to do that back? It may not. It's not always that simple.
we can't. You have to take all of it with a grain of salt because they are reality TV stars at the end of the day. Yandy
Hmm.
can talk about how much of a businesswoman and entrepreneur she is, and she has done what seems like great things for her community and stuff. But at the end of the day, we know these individuals as reality TV stars from Love and Hip Hop. Same with Rashida and Kirk. I mean, this man is repaying Rashida's loyalty at every waking moment with embarrassment. It's actually unreal. It's actually not. Again, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt because I do not know these individuals personally. But all I'm gonna say is people will only go as far as you let them.
That's it. Powerful statement. I think we all get it at this point. I think that's it. They go as far as you allow them. And once you learn, you need to make a choice and do what you need to do.
Yeah. Speaking of, wanting to control and I I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's actually unbelievable to me because of things I heard in the past. Money Long is filed for divorce from her husband.
That's so
It
sad.
is very sad because I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I found out Money Long was actually married was probably maybe a year, maybe 2 years, somewhere in between 1 to 2 years ago. She did a podcast with someone I follow, and that's where she revealed, yeah, I'm married, and we're and I mean, it was just all sunshines and blossoms. I mean, it was like My husband supports me, and I've been working in this industry for decades, and I've been songwriting, and now I'm finally making it as my own artist, and it's so great. So to hear like this, what I believe she was doing an interview, and she pretty much said like this is the happiest time in her life, and if those individuals cannot celebrate with her during this time, she's gonna have to leave them behind. And she pretty much insinuated that he's not handling her success very well, or her being in the spotlight very well, because she had garnered success before. I mean, she was making a living as a songwriter. That was her full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
But she just wasn't in the spotlight as the singer songwriter. So I think that's just very sad that you get to this point. I think they have been married for like a decade or
Wasn't he a
something.
manager? Isn't he involved? Isn't he in the music industry?
He was a part of, think, I think he was her manager up until her first viral moment. And then I think she went with other management.
Mm.
I think she switched that from what I remember hearing
Mm.
in certain interviews. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or I just, if you hate me, just say it up front. Like, we don't gotta go through this. Like, we don't have to go through the, like, if you think I'm never gonna make it, then just say that, because when I do make it, it's gonna be a
Here's the
problem.
thing. Here's the thing, though. Fame can be traumatizing for people. Like to get boom, you're famous now, or your wife is famous now, the mother of your child is famous. That could be like very traumatizing. And everybody doesn't handle that great. We don't know if she started acting different toward him. We don't know. She could have been like very humble when nobody knew her. And then when she got, things could have changed. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know how all the dynamics of their relationship changed. Maybe she wasn't around anymore. That's very hard. Whereas one day your spouse is there every single day, you can count on them, you can look to them, you can depend on them, and they're not. They're gone every day. They're touring, they're working, they're gone for weeks at a time. So I don't think it's that simple sometimes. Like I think people can feel like that 100%. But I also think that marriage is especially for men, they don't often like a lot of change. They like uh it takes a mature person to handle that level of change as it regards to their significant other. Like they have to be very confident, very mature, very, just comfortable in their own skin, able to just, be okay with their wife being gone. So we don't really know what happened in their marriage, but I'm sure that fame, sudden fame, her going viral can be very, that can be traumatizing. So I don't know. We
I
would
think
just have to really hear her story,
I think communication too, for
his
sure.
story too. Yeah,
Yeah, I think communication. Right now we only have her side, and the
right.
way that she has framed it has been a lack of support,
Hmm.
a lack of celebration, a lack of feeling like this person is genuinely happy for
Yeah,
you,
which
which
is
can be
understandable.
shocking. Which is where I think that communication can come into play, where the acknowledgement of these sudden changes needs to be communicated. Like, I know our whole life has changed. It's been turned upside down. I'm now being asked to do all these things that I wasn't. Yes, I had success in the sense of I was able to provide as a member of this family from my songwriting, but that is very different from me being in the limelight and being asked to go on these interviews and open up for
And
people and do music videos and do all of these things.
yeah, and we don't know to have your own identity and then become such and such a spouse. We don't know how that affected him, and
Mm.
men are different. You know, for women that might be like, oh, that's a win. Yes, that's my husband, blah blah blah. But for a man, it's like, nah, I'm me. You know, I'm him. You know, so we don't really know how that, you know, completely affected him and affected. We don't know. So it would only be them opening up and really talking about what they think, you know, cause them to be away, feel it away. But
At the end of the day, relationships end because one or both parties decide they no longer want to be committed to the other.
mm-hmm.
So for whatever that reason is, um, it's still out there. I mean, you say that when you said that, it made me think about the whole, what's her name, the girl that just had a baby with Cam Newton,
Oh
Jazz.
yeah.
It made me
Mm-hmm.
think about that with her, with whatever was blowing up with her, where she just posted where she likes to serve, and she was like, it brings her joy, and to serve her family and have dinner ready and putting the baby to sleep and stuff like that. And I'm listen, like I'm all for servitude.
100%. I just don't think it
I
came.
just think
It
like
wasn't giving pure. It was giving like I'm proving something. But
gun it felt like, girl, hold the newspaper up if your hands are shaking. No, for me it just kind of was bad. It also was bad timing
it was bad
because you're
timing
talking about servitude to a man who just publicly admitted that he
publicly,
wants to have more children and is
and
willing
not
to have
by you,
more children,
and
not by
does
you,
and
and
doesn't
not
want to be.
marry anybody.
Hmm.
That was not the best PR packaging. So I think it was just, and then I don't know if you saw, but right after that, there was a video of them out together and they were like dancing and they were singing like this. They were both singing this song to each other about, I forget the name of the song. It's an old song about this man having multiple women. Like, I need one at home, I need one in the kitchen. They both, and they're dancing and laughing, and I'm just like, this is not a good PR run. Like, whoever y'all people are, it just didn't all in the package. It didn't look
But
appetizing.
here's the thing. You know, some people feel like if they're getting what they want, as long as they're
Yeah,
getting what they want out the situation, it's a win for them.
yeah.
You know, and sometimes, you know, depending on your belief, she may not believe that a man can be with you know,
She
with one
may
person.
not. Yeah.
She may not. So this might be okay for her. There are many people who do not believe in exclusivity in that way. And she knew what she was getting into when she got with him. And so that may be something that she
Yeah.
is has accepted. Yes, this is my family. Even though legally it's not, as far as the rest of the children, that's not her husband. But you
Mm-hmm.
know, she might be okay with that. And so people make choices, you know, and people are up in arms about it. Yes, because they just think he's a public figure and he should kind of know better. But at the end of the day, people make choices to live life how they want to. And if one day she changes her mind, that's her business.
I think we are who we are, regardless of our situation, and this is why we have to be aware and careful about the situations we put ourselves in. Because if you are someone who does enjoy serving and you do like catering, and this is truly what you, I am someone who does like that. I cook. I actually enjoy clean. Like, I like to do these
You
things.
really do. You're
So
going to
I
be a great
really
wife.
could. So I
You
really
really
could.
do.
I really
You
do
really
enjoy
do.
doing that.
If you're
So
really a prince, I'll marry you. Like you really.
I. Fun fact. That's where the movie ends for me. They can keep everything after that. But so if I'm not careful, and this is coming from a place where I have actually found myself in this position before. I
Mhm.
can be put into a position where it's like I'm doing the things I naturally like to do with
Right.
someone I'm not supposed to do it with.
Right. Right. They're not worthy of all that
So
you bring.
it's
That's so
just
true.
like you
Because
you
you're not gonna get it back.
you're not getting it back and whatever. And
Question: would this be done for a man who didn't have the financial means that he does?
absolutely not. Absolutely. If
So
you
she's
weren't
getting
in a
what she
man,
wants.
if you, that's what I'm saying. So in some way, shape, or form, you are getting what you want. Maybe you do want to be
Yeah.
kept.
Maybe
You
you want to
do.
be kept more than you want to be exclusive.
Here's my issue with that. And y'all can say divorce is an option and all this happens. But my captivity, I'm making up a word. My captivity is dependent upon your mood at this point. If one day you came home and you decide, if this house ain't in my name and you ain't paid it off, if you're renting this condo for me and we're living the life, and one day you come home and decide, I have fallen in love with Jasmine from the corner store and we're gonna get married and I love her and that, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with y'all,
What
y'all gotta
happens
be
to
out.
you?
What happens to you? What happens to your baby? What then happens? Whereas if I'm married to you, there is still some form of security in the sense of you can't up and leave and kick me out.
Yeah, you can't. You
You
gonna pay.
we gon' both lawyer up and go to court
Hmm.
with this divorce. And what who was that said what's his name, Denzel Washington, I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with
I'm
something.
leaving here with something.
Hmm.
So that's my thing. I can't in good confidence and I can't in good confidence get as comfortable as I normally could, knowing that one day this
How?
could be stripped from me.
Yeah,
If
you
I
have no
piss you
security.
off, I piss you off, something happens. If something happens to you physically and you are no longer able to do what you do, then what?
Then what?
Like, there it's just too many what ifs for me and my
Too many.
comfort.
Too many.
I cannot decide that. So I
It's
have
too
to,
many.
yeah, you, if this is what you like to do, I'm not knocking you for it because I am also of the same vein, sis. I like it
Hmm.
too. Just make sure you're doing the do with the right person.
Yeah, and just, I do believe that you should have standards. I believe that marriage is holy. I believe that kids need a structured, reliable environment. I do think you're putting your kid in a tough situation if it's in an unstable environment. You want to create that stability for them. And I think when kids know that mommy and daddy are committed to each other and are married, and mommy, this is my, like, mommy, like, mommy's daddy's one and only. Like, there's this level of commitment, and in commitment there is safety for people. It does make people feel safer when they come home to someone they know they have their back, all of that. But the truth of the matter is, it's on both sides. Both people have to put skin in the game. It's
Yeah.
vulnerability. You have to be financially vulnerable. She is vulnerable with her. Y'all both are being vulnerable physically, financially, emotionally, all of that. That's marriage, is the ultimate nakedness, the ultimate vulnerability, the ultimate. So, to have this pseudo situation, trying to protect yourself and all of that, I mean,
But we all fall
it's not
victim.
ideal.
We all fall victim to settling because we're afraid we cannot get the star we
Can't get
want.
better. You can't get better. And I do believe that, people just want a family. They want it how they want it. They don't want to wait for the right situation.
You don't
They,
want to believe that it can happen for you, which
yeah, they don't want to wait.
that
Yeah.
faith comes into
And,
play.
and marriage, I haven't been married before. I'm divorced, but marriage really requires a lot of maturity.
Hmm.
It is so selfless. It requires a lot of maturing. It requires you emotional regulation being able to talk with people with respect, being able to sit down and have a conversation, to listen with your ears open and your mouth closed, really take in the, what your partner is saying. And it requires a lot of maturity. It is a reason why it is God made it the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to develop you into a better version of yourself. But if you are anti-development and anti-growth in your
Mm.
mindset, it isn't good for you. It isn't.
It's just a tick off the box for some people.
Yeah, it isn't. It isn't. You're not gonna like being married if you don't want to grow and you don't want to develop and you don't want to change and you don't want to be challenged. You're gonna hate it if you've got a lot of ego and everything has to be your way and you never compromise and you're not willing to listen. You're not willing to learn. It's gonna humble you.
The merging of
Um.
two lives doesn't seem like something where ego can thrive. It seems very selfless.
Oh my God, your ego cannot thrive. Now your kids, I believe. I heard a speaker kind of talking about the situation. He was like, "Yeah, you don't have to be challenged, but your kids, they're gonna love you unconditionally, until they're older, and then they say, hey, yeah, when you used to
Mm-hmm.
do this, I didn't like." And we talked about this last
Yeah,
episode.
I truly believe that
Um,
people
and
have to
and
do that.
Right. Whereas your partner is going to say, yeah, this doesn't work for me. Like, can you please? And no, you can't just be like, well, this is how I am. Yeah, people are going to leave if you mistreat them, or if you consistently mistreat them, they're not going to take that.
And then
So,
the older you get, it's like I've established myself. I have this life. I'm deciding to share it with you. I had a life before you. I don't have to take this. Like,
yeah.
I was
It's like the
okay on
judge.
my own.
It's like Judge Mathis's wife filing for
Yeah.
divorce after almost 40 years. It's
I'm
like,
not
and
laughing
then,
at the I'm
and
not
then
laughing at that. I'm laughing
and
at
then
what he
you
said.
hear him say, hey, yeah, I wasn't good to her. I was
He
not
said
around. I
somebody
neglected
he
her.
said but he said I just want to set the record straight. I just want my wife back. So did you cheat? I just want my wife back. At the end of the day,
It's
yeah.
like it's like to be in your golden years, your older years. You want to relax. You want to slow down. You want to enjoy your partner. You want to enjoy your grandkids and your family. And they were saying he was working 80 hours a week.
Which is
At,
kind of
at
crazy,
in your
Judge
60s,
Mathis.
70s,
You gotta slow it on down. You
and
have
she's been
made a name for yourself.
and she's
Relax.
probably hasn't been first priority in a long, like, their whole
Well,
time.
that's what happened
And
with Tom
so
Brady and his wife. She
and
was
so you
like, "Don't go back. You go back another
yeah.
season, I'm done." And he thought she was
Yeah.
bluffing, and she was like, "Okay, okay, I'm
Because
gone."
it's not like you need the money.
What
So
are you
what are
chasing?
we doing?
You want to be in the spotlight. You're afraid of not no longer being known.
Yeah,
What are
what's
we really
happening?
dealing with? You afraid of
Yeah.
having to actually be at home with your
But
family every day?
but he really did say that he wants his wife back. So,
I believe he
hopefully, who
does.
knows, they can work it out, whatever. But um I just have empathy, sympathy for that, because nobody wants to have given their whole life with someone, and then for them not to make it after 40 years. So, you know,
Yeah. Holy, I
that's
could
just
imagine.
really tough. That's just really tough. But, may this be a lesson to us all that we cannot take people for granted.
No matter how long they've been in our lives, no
No
matter
matter
how
how long
long
they've
they've
been there,
been there, they've been loyal and they
they've been loyal and good to you. You need to
holding
be
you
being good
down
to
and
them.
being good to them. And this is a part of why I really we wanted to embed this 100-day challenge. It's like as individuals, I hear the music now. We got a quinceañera going on next
Oh
door.
gosh. Y'all, I am in a studio and next door to me is an event center. So please.
I hear it now. I hear it. They bopping. It's Labor Day weekend. Get your groove on. Everybody get your roll on. I appreciate it. But
Sorry guys,
no
it's getting
matter
louder and
how,
louder as our conversation continues. But
it's okay.
prima. Okay.
Tarrah, please. I delay, mommy. Yeah.
Oh, what's
Four,
coming
five, and a
now?
nine. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. But yes, you can't. No matter how long people have been there,
Yeah.
it makes me think about. I was listening to Tabitha Brown and her husband have a podcast that they do every Friday, and they were talking about the like temptations and stuff, and
Mhm.
they got really real. I really like listening to it. If you're someone who wants to hear about relationships, they don't just do relationships; they do funny stuff too. They get down to the real. They talked about how if the fame and the money would have come when they were younger, they probably wouldn't have made it.
Wow, that's
There,
deep to say.
Tabitha literally said out her mouth, there were times that they stayed together because financially they could not afford to separate.
Wow, that is wild.
And I thought that was so vulnerable of them to
Hmm.
admit that it's just like financially they had to stay together.
Work
And
it
she was,
out. They had to work it
and
out.
they worked it out. And she said, in those moments, we got through it and we fell back in love with one another
Wow.
because we, had to take that time together because we could not separate financially.
Yeah.
And I think about like some of these situations where money isn't a question. You can survive on your own. You can do your own thing. And it makes me feel like sometimes we value our ability to make it on our own over making it work with someone else.
Yeah. And that's why, like, the fame and the money for Money Long, that might have been a thing. We don't
It could have
know.
been,
Maybe
yeah.
they were fine when they didn't have nothing, but now
I mean,
everybody got
clearly
all
they
this,
were.
got all this freedom, and now I can go and jet set and leave when I want to, and I can go get a hotel for the night. And maybe before y'all only had $80 in y'all account, so when nobody getting no hotel, you better go in the other room. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Or
And cool
you
off.
know you you can explore your vices more. That's why I'm saying, like, I truly believe marriage is meant to sanctify you, because
Yeah.
like it challenges you in every way to get that stuff out of you, like the immaturity and the all of that. So relationships are mirrors for us. They're meant to show us where we
Baby,
need
we don't
to
want to see the
develop.
mirrors. We don't
Yeah,
want to see them.
where we need to develop. So yeah, guys.
But yes, well, good luck to them. I just really, I have never been married. I know several people who have been married, and I know several people who are still married, and several people who have been divorced. And a lot of the advice is along the same lines: communication, selflessness, needing to be aware of yourself, that mirror that happens. You don't, it's rare that someone
It
lays down with someone and you don't lay everything out. You cannot a lot of times live with someone and hide the things that other people cannot see.
Okay. So, I mean, I feel like marriage affects you on every level, right?
Yeah,
Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. In
financially.
every one of those areas, you have to have addressed yourself, okay? And be okay with being addressed by your spouse to for growth in those areas.
Hmm.
So we cannot just ignore spiritually. We cannot only focus on mentally and ignore spiritually and
Hmm.
ignore physically and ignore mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like, and financially, like, they all have to be addressed. And nobody's going to be perfect. And sometimes you get as far as you can, and then your spouse is going to come alongside and help you address the rest of them. Where this is where it needs to be, you have to be humble enough to accept what they're saying and growth minded enough to do the work on yourself to become a better person. And that other person has to be patient as you develop. So it's a lot of humility, selflessness, uh, love, all the things that are like godly things that our flesh does not want to do. That's got to be up. Like it has to be there.
Hmm.
So it's just, one of those things that if you try to take God out of marriage, if you try to just do marriage how you want to do marriage, do relationship how you want to do relationship, and not and just take God out of it and just be however you want to be. I don't change. This just me. It's probably not gonna work for you, and probably you shouldn't. It's probably not gonna work for you.
Just being your common law ness, what you
Oh,
want to do. I'm sorry, y'all.
you
One of
know.
my lights just unplugged. Give me 1 second
Oh,
because I'm looking a
we're
little
going
dark.
through things
We
today.
tonight, baby, the devil. We were talking about being selfless in marriage
Okay,
and
yes.
having to have the mirror up to yourself. And I
Here's the
just
thing. Here's the thing.
tell the girls,
Relationships don't work without God. We're just not good on our own. We just, who wants to be good? We want it, our flesh, like ourselves, wants to be selfish. Don't want to listen to nobody. Don't want to obey anyone. Want to do our own thing. Want
don't
to
want to
not have to
submit.
humble ourselves. Don't want to talk about change. Don't want to change. Want to very much stay the same. It's like that. None of that works in relationship. It just doesn't.
I am telling you, as someone who had to up grow up in God, God could have only done what He has done for me.
Hmm.
If Tarrah could tell you the person that I used to be, how I used to treat men, how I used to talk to men, how I'm trying to tell you. And the crazy part was
You had softened. You had
I
softened,
would
truly.
talk to them crazy and still pull them. When I tell you, baby, I would be out here out the side of my neck having them. I was running
Ah,
and they would be, and Tara was like, how do but I had men and I had to learn, like, I don't want to be
but you were
talked to
still
like
sweet
that.
though. You
I don't
probably
want to
had
be
your moments,
treated
but you
like
were still
that.
sweet. You
I
still were
did.
sweet though.
I
You still
did.
were
I
sweet
did,
with
but I
Tara.
still was talking out the side of my neck. And I did not like to be
Yeah. Uh huh.
questioned. I did not like to be questioned.
Oh.
I did not like to. I was like, why are you questioning me? Who do you think you talking to? We do not have. I have answered this question. Don't ask it to me
I
again.
was like, friend.
I'm like, but at my core, I'm a teacher, and it's like a teacher has patience. A teacher is kind. A teacher,
Yes.
and the Lord had to tell me, like, that is rebellion in you. That is like telling you to do these things against your core nature.
Yeah. Like.
And I was like, you just don't know what you don't. You have to really like look at yourselves
Yeah.
honestly and really be real about,
For real.
does what I want match who I am?
Ooh.
Like,
Does what I want match who I am? Does it? Does it? Does what I want
glory!
match who I am? Whoa. Does it? I don't think it does.
I don't think
Yeah,
for a majority of people it does either.
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. We be having it just, as a community, we have to all be willing to say yes to being coached, being taught, being open, being vulnerable, being pliable, being flexible. I'm gonna tell you something that does not work in marriage: inflexibility. You just kill your marriage. Just
And
kill
we're
it.
not talking
Because
about in the bedroom, you
no,
sickos.
right. We're
Wake up
not
your
talking about.
mind.
See, like culture has us focus on like, all this, and we need to be. Listen, if you
Not.
disrespectful, don't nobody care about all this. If you just a disrespectful, rude person to be around, that don't matter. That's gonna be so old yesterday. So it's like inflexibility. Nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can tell you about yourself. You're never sorry. You're never wrong. You're never at fault. You're never like none of that stuff
Let
works.
me tell you what
It
that
never. It doesn't
is.
work.
It's pride.
It's pride.
It's
At the
pride.
root of it is pride,
It's
and you
pride.
literally just can't. Pride is at the foundation of all strife, which is this.
All
It's
demise.
it's pride. Somebody want to be right, they don't want to be wrong. And you know what's so beautiful when you can say, "Baby, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I care so much more about us being on one accord and in unity. What I did to offend you or something. I'm sorry
It
for that. Will
should.
you
Do
forgive
you
me?
want
You
to
accept?
be
Do you
right?
accept my apology?"
Do you want to be right, or do you want to be in a relationship?
Boom, boom,
And this is coming from someone who
boom.
had to learn that they were not always right.
You're
I
not
dealt with a
right.
spirit of pride. I to this day, I'd be like, get
You
off
got to
my
keep it on
back.
the neck.
Get
Got to
get
keep
off
it.
my back.
Got to keep
I'm
it
not
out.
always right.
You not
I'm
always right.
actually a lot of times wrong.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. And it's okay. It is okay. I love that we can come together and say, you know what? I was wrong about that. Thank you for teaching me more about myself in that area. I didn't know that I struggle with that. And thank you for loving me while I was, tripping. I was tripping. I'm sorry about that. I love you. Thank you for being patient with me. Like how secure do you feel if you have a relationship where you can just
Think
own your
about
stuff?
think about every relationship you've ever had. Our listeners, I want y'all to think about every relationship y'all have ever had and what difference it would have made if your partner had said something like that. If your partner had
That's
come and
friendship.
said
That's
something like that. And I'm not just talking about, yes,
parent,
romantic. I'm talking about, yes,
child.
friendship, parents, children, aunts, uncles, family, co-workers, bosses, any kind of relationship you ever had. Think about the difference that would have made in not only the trajectory of your relationship, but the response you had in that moment. If somebody
Yeah,
would have come and said something simply, these simple words of "I was wrong, I'm
yeah.
sorry, I should not
And
have reacted that way."
we literally want that from the public. We're like, okay, he admitted he was wrong, moving on. When stuff goes down, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, what people are looking for is for you to own your stuff
Mm-hmm.
and say what you're gonna do, what you learn, and how you're gonna change in the future. It's just that simple. And so when we can't do that in relationship,
Yep.
it's just how on earth do you expect for this to work? That's the only way this works is if we're flexible, if we're willing to change and willing to grow and willing to keep learning. You know what I'm saying? And then that's in every capacity. That's man, I didn't know that about finance. Man, I didn't know that about communication. Man, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna check in on each other's communication? How are we gonna show each other love when we're both busy? We have to develop something like that. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna check in? We have standards for friendship. We have standards for all these different type of relationships that we have.
Yep.
We check in on, we don't go months and months and not talk to each other. It's like, hello, is you alive? Or we don't, but we give each other grace. We give each other some room, but it's just like those fruit of the spirit, like when the Lord in the Bible and talk about fruit of the spirit, patience, long suffering and gentleness, meekness, all of this stuff. And in First Corinthians 13, where it talks about love is patient, love is kind, love is not,
Man, y'all love to quote
envious.
that at weddings.
It is not, selfish. It doesn't seek its own, all of these things. You really have to be a mature person because I'm going to tell you, yourself don't want to do none of that. It wants to hide, it wants to puff up, it wants to be right, it wants to, you don't tell me what to do. It don't want to do none of that. It don't want to compromise. It don't want to listen to nobody. If he tell you, "Oh, I don't like your outfit. I really kind of think it's too revealing." You don't tell me what to do. This is my body, and you used to like this outfit. Well, maybe
You
he did.
don't owe
Now that
me,
he, you
Curtis.
know,
You don't owe me, Curtis.
you don't own me, and that's this big thing, or babe, I don't really think, or, I don't really think you should take something about that is not right. Well, I'm gonna take it because I feel, it's no. So we really, in any relationship, we got to be willing to hear each other out and really exemplify. We need God. Like we're not good enough. We're just not good enough on our own. Like left to our own devices, we will be selfish and rude and angry and like not do stuff right. I'm sorry. You call it what you want, but I know how ugly people can be. We can be terrible, good and terrible. We need God's help to do anything. So when you try to take God out of relationship, out of what we're doing, it just unravels. It just unravels. It just doesn't go good. It just
And I would also dare to say the individuals who are like, well, I have God in my relationship, and what? Well, do you have God, or is God just a title?
mm-hmm.
Like, we really
Yeah.
have to examine who we bring into
Yeah.
the quadrants of the relationships that we have. And so
Yeah.
you can say you have something. It would be like
Can I
someone
say
I
can I
go
say
ahead.
something when you go? Go ahead. Okay, so one thing, even if you and your spouse, y'all have God and y'all are godly, this is one thing that I have seen bring down many of good people. It is who they have around them.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh,
Woo!
we.
You could be as good of a guy as possible. Like you could be an amazing man.
Please talk
But if
about it.
your circle is
Trash,
terrible,
garbage,
they cheat on their
hot.
wives, they lie, they're deceitful, they hide money, they doing all kind of stuff behind the scenes.
Because,
They're
ladies,
not
men
being
hide money
honest.
too. We
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
only
you know what I'm saying? They're
ones.
not being honest. They're doing things without consulting their wife. They're making big decisions without, this team. Yeah, and then they're talking about it, and when you try to bring up something positive or you try to bring up how you interact with your wife, they shame you for what you do. You will subtly start changing. When the Bible says evil communication corrupts good manners, which meaning like if you talk to in a way that's negative, it's eventually gonna get in the inside of you. Like he's not playing. And so if you're in same thing, if you're a woman and you're around women that are don't respect their husbands, don't listen, don't they're very disrespectful. They got side dudes. Like it's gonna affect you. You could be like, but that's her over there. No, remember when you was in high school, if you hung with the smokers, you were a smoker. You're not the one that's hanging with all the smokers, but you don't smoke. What do y'all have in common? Y'all, for what are you? You
And
know,
you
you hung.
you can start off like not being the smoker for many, many years. It could be your senior year that you come until you succumb to it. But if you hang around it long enough, you will succumb to whatever is
You
around
will.
you.
Birds of a feather flock together. If that's not you, you need to cut them people off and go find men or go find women that you want to emulate. That you want you respect them, they're respectable, they're honorable, like that you can be around because I have seen many of decent people like go down fast because of the people they surround themselves with. And it's like so subtle and it seems it's arrogant. Here's the thing. It is prideful and egotistical and arrogant to think that you can be around an atmosphere for so long and it's not going to affect you. That's not how it works. This is not how the world works. Like we are energetic beings. So if you're around a type of people, a type of atmosphere for long enough, it's gonna be your life. It's gonna affect you. So people say, if you hang around the people, you'll be in the tax like financial bracket of the people you hang around the five most people. Like in every way, it's going to affect you. Like who you are surrounded by. So I just want to say that it really, you can be amazing, so awesome, such a great couple, such a great person. But if you surround yourself with people who are not about that, they're not about becoming better, they're not about being living in a healed way, they're not about, honoring their spouse or honoring the people they're with. Like, you're not going to do that. It's like trying to swim upstream. Why would you just go be in a situation where you can flow? It takes so much more energy to swim upstream. Chris, I think you're frozen.
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, it takes so
No,
much more energy to
I'm just listening.
Yeah, it takes so much more energy to swim against the grain, to go against the grain, when you could be in an atmosphere where you're getting that synergy and the people around you are taking you up, as opposed to you carrying baggage trying to take people with you. Like, that's very arrogant. You gotta let that go and say, hey, I need to go find people that's about what I'm about. Let me go find these people instead of trying to drag these people somewhere they don't even want to be. They don't want to be. Or y'all will be having those conversations like, man, what you doing to change this? Or how we gonna do this? Or how we gonna be better over here? Man, da 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 da. And man, this is what I'm working on. And man, Lord, I'm praying about this. I'm seeking God. How do I like? You could be great, 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 but if you hang around terrible people, sorry, sorry. And maybe you want to be the best one in the group. That's still ego. Maybe you like to be the one that answer all the questions, and always people come to you,
But
and
what questions
you the
and what are
top
you
dog.
answering? What are you the top dog in? It's the age old story of the drug dealer who was like, okay, I don't want to be in the game anymore. I got bigger for myself. And all of the people he grew up with and came up with are like, who do you think you are?
Yep.
Trying to do different, trying to become legit, trying to do this. Like, you
And they want to
can't
bring him back down. They want to take him out.
you
Crabs in a
can't
barrel.
you cannot expect a group of people who have never thought further than where they are to
Yeah.
to see on the same level that you do.
Yeah. You got
And
to cut the
so,
people.
and how
Chop
difficult
chop.
is it to fight against the grain? Like you said, swimming upstream. How difficult is it to have to fight against that grain? Like, think about it in the
It's
sense of like,
exhausting.
if you had, think about it like this. If you had a men's group where married men came together and they were just, talking and supporting and doing all these things, the man who's cheating on his wife will be an outcast. He would not bring that up.
Outcast. Outcast.
He
He's
would
not going
not,
to be the rule. He's the exception. And they
he
trying to
would,
help him get back on his feet.
they would be like, bro, what you doing?
What are you doing?
How do we figure this out? You
Yes.
are the outcast in that situation. And eventually they're going to try to bring you into whatever, because how do I say this? Wrong doesn't like to see right.
Uh-huh. Oh. It don't like it. It don't
It ain't
like
never, it's
it.
never gonna
Don't
like it.
like it. Don't like it.
It's never gonna like it. So if you're in a group of people who are doing wrong, regardless of if
Uh-huh.
you love them or not, because you can love someone who does wrong.
Look,
You
baby, I got
can.
something. Loyalty be killing some of y'all. It's killing some of Let it go. Let these people go. Loyalty is killing your destiny,
Killing it.
your future. You so loyal to these people that you destroying your own self. Stop it.
I'ma
Stop
hold
it.
it down, down, down.
Nah, these my
No.
people from first grade. Don't nobody care if it's killing you. Do it matter, yo? Like, what about your kids? What about your future? What about what God called you to do? You gonna have to stand before God and say, man, why you didn't do X, Y, Z?
You.
And what you gonna say? Cause my friends wasn't doing it. Oh, so your friends? So you worship your friends? Oh, okay. So your friends are an idol. You worship them.
Because let's be real, anything that you submit to over God is an idol.
It's an idol.
It's an
Oh,
idol.
it's an idol.
It's an
Stop
idol.
it. It's an idol. So, like, this loyalty to these people who are not suitable for you, who do not have your best interest in mind, that you're picking them over your God given destiny and your God given spouse and all of this other stuff, it's hurting you. You need to
The
let them go.
the fact
Let
that
them go.
here's the funny thing is you don't even agree with their
You don't even agree.
mentality.
Y'all
You
don't even have
don't
nothing
even
in common no more.
agree. You don't even have anything in common anymore.
Y'all don't even have nothing
You're
in common.
like you're scrambling for things to talk about
You trying.
because y'all ain't even on the same page no more.
Y'all not on the same page. You're not. You're not.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let
Let
it
it go.
go. Let it
Let it go.
go.
Let it go.
Go.
Like, just do yourself a favor and let it go. Let them go their way and down the road that they choose, because people have free will and you don't get to make choices for other
Mm-hmm.
people. You can love them all day, but you don't get to choose for
You
them.
do
They
not
want to
get to
live a
make
certain
those
type of
choices.
lifestyle that you don't agree with. Let them go. Let them go and live that lifestyle and get the fruit of that life. Okay, and you go your way and live the life that you want to live, and stop trying to work, put stress on yourself, trying to make praying, trying to make them something they don't want to be. Let them go. Unless God give you a prayer, like, you supposed to pray for this person, I called them, they just struggling, like, let the people go.
Yeah.
Let them go. So, yes, I feel like some of these relationships, they're hurting us more than they are helping us, and we need to let these people go, be who they want to be and do what they want to do, so that we can focus on what we're called to do. Cuz that loyalty is killing y'all. Like they say, them BBLs is killing y'all.
Killing
That
y'all.
loyalty
That loyalty is killing y'all.
killing y'all. It's killing
And
y'all.
the heart don't match.
Don't match.
That loyalty is killing y'all.
It's killing y'all.
It's killing
You more loyal
y'all.
to your boys than your
And what
wife.
is that loyalty getting you at the end of the day is the question. Are they cooking? Are you going home to a hot meal? Are they going to birth your children? Are they balancing your bank account? Are they grocery shopping? The plants you got in the house, are they still alive? Are the blinds clean? Is the bathroom clean? Is the bed made? Did they feel like y'all are having loyalty to niggas who are not giving you nothing? And I don't feel a way about
And this is
saying
not.
niggas because people are niggas sometimes. You're niggas. And niggas need to get it together. I'm sick of it. I'm
And
sick of it.
it's not exclusive to men or women. It's both. Your
Niggas is men and
friendships,
women. Yes,
you're
I don't
you're
care.
more loyal to your friendships than you are to your spouse. And I'm not saying your friendships should not be important. They are important. You shouldn't just drop all your friends for your spouse.
Don't
You need
drop
to
your
balance
friends
it.
when you get in a
Don't do
relationship.
that. Do not
Please,
do
for
that.
the love of
Do,
Peter.
do not do that.
Do
But I
not.
am saying, where y'all don't have no kind of agreement in life, style, goals, spirituality, nothing, and this person is no
I wanna
longer, y'all not going down the same
you
path,
wanna know what
but you
that makes me
loyal to
think
them.
about? You wanna know what it makes me think
Get out of
about?
here.
It makes me think about the movie Two Can Play That Game with Vivica
I
Fox.
don't remember that movie, but I believe you.
So Vivica Fox, she was playing games. Don't get me wrong. She had Morris Chestnut was her man, but all of her friends were having terrible difficulties with their boyfriends. I mean, cheating, lying, all this, and she wasn't having that with him. But the moment she saw a little bit of whatever, her girlfriends were amping her up to do
Mm.
these things. And so she's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta start doing this and doing that and playing these games that she was
Mm.
playing. Um, and then it was to her detriment. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, granted, at the end of the film, she let all that go and she stripped herself of the games and just brought herself to who she was to him. But in the midst of it, it didn't work. She
Yeah.
lost him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And, like, I've just seen so many people have fall and their relationships go through it because of a bad friendship or a bad influence. Just
I'm a
like the kids start getting in trouble, and you be like, "What's wrong with my child?" And then you figure out he been hanging with Timmy, and Timmy talk like that. Timmy cusses my mouth. Timmy smoke on the bus. You know, you be like, "My child was fine till he started hanging with." You know, those influences. You think you grown, you can do what you want to do. You're an adult, but the people are either gonna be your catalyst. You know, your boosters, or they're gonna be, you know, the weight that bring you drag you
yeah.
down. And so you can in your ego think you don't need relationship and your relationships don't affect you and that's them over there. It's just not true. It's just not true. And if you think that way, you have a bigger issue. You got a pride issue. And you need to be able to say, you know what, I was really in my ego. I was really in pride, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you, God. I repent. I'm sorry to my spouse. You know, I'm sorry. Because if you really think you can live like that, you're in error. You're in major error. You're in serious. You have a more serious problem, which is you have a pride problem. And we all have a you know, we all can be prideful, but it's one thing to have pride blind you and run your life.
And it
And then
will. And I'm
it
telling you,
will.
as someone who
It
had,
will.
I was in pride.
Hmm.
Nobody could tell me nothing. Like I was untouchable.
That's just
Like
that's not a good place to be.
it's
It's
not.
not.
When I look back on the way that I treated people, on the
Yeah.
way that I reacted, on who I thought I was because I had XYZ status in school and I did XYZ and I had all this, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I treated some good people really wrong.
Hmm.
I
Mm.
did some really wrong things to some really good people because I couldn't
Hmm.
be told anything. Who
Mm.
are you to tell me as president? Who are you to tell me da 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 da? Like that's ignorant. It's
Hmm.
not. It's demonic.
Yeah. It's demonic. It's
And
100% demonic.
you gotta get out of, if nobody can come to you and tell you anything in
Anything,
error,
you're in trouble.
you're
You're in
in trouble.
trouble. You're
You're
in
in
serious trouble.
trouble
You need to right
because
now fall on your knees right now and say, Lord, I repent. Please help me. Come into my life all over again. Take this pride away. Because you're in trouble. He said, the Bible says, he resists the pride. He Heisman's the pride. Like, get out my face. Like, I don't want to. This is God. You don't want God Heisman in you. Like, ugh, stop. Like, he hates the pride. And the Bible says, a pride, a haughty pride goes before the fall.
before the fall.
So if you
Yeah,
prideful and you lifted up in pride, bro, you going down and you finna go down fast. You know, it's not gonna be pretty. So like, if that's you right now, you need to repent. Like you just need to repent, and you need to um ask God's help to help you.
I think
Because
this is for somebody.
if if you're in relationship and y'all doing this, somebody in pride, maybe both of y'all, but it's probably both of y'all. But you need to repent. You need to ask for forgiveness. You need to truly be sorry. Not in theory and not in oh well, I'm sorry, but you still got a bad attitude. No, you need to fall on the floor and Lord change me. No, I really need to be I'm not right. Change me. I got a song about called Change Me
You
that I wrote.
do.
I do. But
It
I got a
is a
couple songs
very.
about change. I got a couple songs about change because that is the process that you need to go through when you go through something traumatic. You're like, man, what was my role in this? I need to change. I need to look back and say, man, what could I have done better? Man, I apologize. I repent. Man, I really thought that I was right. I really thought I knew what I was doing. I'm so sorry, Lord. Show me the way. I don't know the way. I thought I did, but I don't. Why do we get into relationship and not study? We study everything but relationship. Everything but relationship and how to be in it. So that's the spiritual aspect of relationship. Pride will kill your relationship. It really will. And that's like the biggest relationship killer there is out there. Pride to make you cheat, pride to make you talk to other people, pride to make you hide, pride to make you puff yourself up and not listen. All of that is rooted in pride. Like not communicate. I ain't gotta ask her nothing. What I gotta tell you this for? It's all it's all pride. And let me tell you, under that pride is some hurt and some shame under there. So that's what is the
Mm-hmm.
scab. Pride is the scab. Underneath that scab
Mm-hmm.
is
Somebody
the
trying to
real
hide
wound.
something. They're trying to hide something, and they don't want you to uncover it. So
Yeah.
they're
It's
boasting
the
about
real
whatever.
wound.
Yeah.
The real pain there that it's like, don't touch that, And but to get healed, you gotta get that infection in there. We gotta get that scab back up and clean it out. And I really believe that God wants to heal relationships. He wants to help us, but He cannot do that if we're not willing to admit we have issues. Like, oh, you good, but nobody's good around you. Everybody's hurting, and everybody, is walking on eggshells around you. Yeah, no, you're not good. It's not good. So,
We talk a lot about friendships, and we've been talking about relationships too, but like this is in anything. Pride can seep itself
anything,
into any kind of relationship that you
any
have.
relationship.
Like even down to the person who thinks they can't be told what to do by their boss. You are at work and who is my boss to tell me who what to do and I know how to do this better. You may have a better method, but that person is an authority.
How, serving and pride don't even go together.
They don't even
Like
go
they don't even go.
together.
They can't even live in the same atmosphere. Like you're not gonna be a prideful servant. Like, bruh, like you have to serve. You have to be willing to go out of your comfort zone and do things for others. Like
And we don't want to I mean we really feel like it's this big risk of doing things for others and I don't want to look like a simp. I don't want to look like XYZ. Do you want to look like a 50-year-old lonely person too? Cuz you're going to grow older. I think one of the funniest things, and not funny and like oh hysterical ha ha, but like
funny, weird.
funny, weird, funny, ironic to me
Mm,
has been the Gen Zers who are now growing older.
mm,
The Gen Zers who are like, oh ha ha, millennials, you're so old, blah blah blah, y'all don't know anything. And now the oldest of the Gen Zers are closing in on their 30s.
mm,
And it's like, oh, I didn't know. You have all these Gen Zers like, oh, I didn't know this is what's gonna happen. Oh, this and this and this. And all of these like assumptions that they had and all of these fortunes that they had in there, and I would be this and I would do this, have subsided and reality has set in of what is actually what's going on. And they're just like really like, oh, we messed up. We didn't think.
we didn't think.
And
Humble yourself. No.
humble yourself
For real.
because
Seriously.
in reality, the blessing of the Lord is to get older.
Yeah.
So we hope that you will one day grow old and have generations behind you. But don't act so pridefully and so
Mm-hmm.
arrogantly in your
Mm-hmm.
youth
Mm-hmm.
that you don't understand that as you get older, it's a blessing to take people with you. The
Mm-hmm.
Bible talks about friends being more precious than rubies.
Yeah, that's a
And
thing. For
like
sure. For sure.
you don't understand someone who takes you for who you are. All of who you are.
Mm-hmm. That's priceless.
And it is priceless.
Mm-hmm. It goes,
Authentically you.
yeah, authentically. And it goes back to like what we talked about the other week. It was just like, we out here really thinking people so replaceable. And so, oh,
Absolutely not.
we could just make another one. I made that one. Let's make
You
it.
can
Like,
replace a
no.
crowd. You cannot replace a confidant.
A true friend.
You
And
can
that
replace
affects
people.
our relationships with romantically and
Mm-hmm.
friendship wise. You just can't just up and replace people. So like to have this arrogant like if I don't like what you're doing, I just get another you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, no. It's not. Like when you find that someone is making you better, ask yourself, are these people I was on a retreat. We did a retreat.
Okay.
And my mentor was like, she made us go through our life and say, who's on the board of your life? Okay? Who are your top board members? Who have the most influence over you in your life? And you need to evaluate them. Are their lives like what you want? Like,
Can you
do they
explain what a
do they
board is?
so like when you have the board of a company and they are the ones that make all the decisions, they come
Mm-hmm.
together, they give you their advisory board, they give you advice based on X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
You know, are do
Mm-hmm.
these people that you listen to them who have influence in your life, that you respect them, that you go to them with your problems and with your issues, do they have the right to be on your board? Are they
Mm-hmm.
still at the place where they can advise you on anything, or can they support? And maybe they should, but maybe their role needs to change just because of where you are now. And that's okay. You know, that's totally okay. But you do need to take a look and say, is this relationship hurting me? Like the last 3 times I took their advice, was this bad? The last 5 times, do they pray for me? Do they look out for me? Do they have my best interest? Like, are they supportive? Are they happy for me? Do they celebrate me when good things happen for me? Like, are they committed to my success? Do they give me good books to read? Do they, are they doing things that are helpful to me and not hindering me? Like telling me bad things and jealous and
Right.
envious and, in
Setting
sabotaging
you
me,
back.
setting me back. So I think that's something that we have to do. It's not always the same. Maybe last year they were good. Maybe this year not so much. Maybe I just need to move them or adjust or address. And maybe they've been away for a long time and I just, out of loyalty, did not want to remove them for the board. But they haven't
So
in
board
any
members can
way,
move around.
this hasn't really been a helpful relationship to me for 6 years, but I still put a lot of investment into it. Why am I doing that? So it really, shout out to Sarah Cowan, who was my mentor and shared that information with me. Sarah Connor. I think it's on her Instagram. But yeah, so that's important. I think that was something that I realized, that every so often you have to do that. You just gotta like evaluate. Like, man, is this who am I spending my most time with? Who am I talking to the most? Who gives me good advice? Who is happy for me? Who celebrates me? Who supports me? Who can, okay, now they might not be able to teach me, be my main teacher, but they can still be a cheerleader, so I'm gonna move them to the cheerleader role. And that's okay.
I mean, none of this is going to happen if you don't do the work for yourself.
Work.
It's going to be the work for yourself,
Yeah.
and you. I feel like I love how we've talked about this now, so we don't have to move into the conversation. We're going to save this for next week. Y'all tune in
Mhm.
next week. We're going to talk about some of the things that we discussed this week and how it ties into the price and the prize of doing this. But it's not going to happen unless you do the work for yourself. And I don't I ain't always agree with what Steve Harvey has said. Um he has said a lot of things that I just feel like have been out of order. But he recently said something that I felt like I was like, oh, okay. So when you right, you right. What they say, eat the meat and spit out the bones type of deal. He said something along the lines of everything's gonna be hard.
Choose your heart.
Choose your heart, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, um,
he said something like, for instance, being physically fit is hard,
Hmm.
but being obese is also hard.
Yeah.
Being um poor is hard,
Yeah.
but also being rich is hard.
Mm.
Like
And it's way down.
everything is going to have a hard,
Yeah.
but you just have to choose the hard that you want to endure.
Yeah.
So it's like being alone is hard, but
It's a
also
challenge.
being in
Yeah.
relationship is
It's hard.
also. And it doesn't have to be as hard as we think when we do the pre-work
The work.
before we get into it. So I just really feel like, yeah, no, I haven't been married yet, but I really feel like I am understanding that the preparation that I'm going through is for that, because I can imagine me going into marriage early on, and this is not to, I could have been married a long time ago. I
Mm-hmm.
thank God that I did not make that decision to
Mm-hmm.
do that,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know who I would have been. I may have been on Snap. Y'all may have been free. Y'all would have had free Christian shirts on me for real. Like, it would have probably been some true crime, she snap type of stuff happening, and then it would have been like free my name on it. So the grace of
Woo!
God. The grace of God, for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
But y'all gotta like do like, we don't come on here every week. Yes, we have fun and it's all laughter, but at the end of the day, it's like work has to be done. We're doing work, and we want you all to be doing work too. Like, it's not just about us. You gotta prepare. It's like, if you wanted to grow a garden, you wouldn't just throw your seeds on a carpet and just be like, oh, I'm just going to put them out here and hope. You would put them in the soil and tend to them the way that they needed to be tended to, and water them the way that they need to be watered. And
Yeah.
this work is not easy. We never said it was easy. We always knew it was going to be hard, because the work we have gone through has been hard. The work we're still going through is hard. But you all have to like take what we're saying and apply it. Even with this 100-day challenge, right? I'm on my walking pad. I made every excuse under the sun to not be on my walking pad. I got my walking pad a year ago and didn't use it because I was like, I don't know. And I may upset my downstairs neighbors. I may do this. I may do that. And you never know until you ask. I put a note. I said, hey, is this what? Let me know. Couldn't hear it. They said they couldn't hear it at all. So that them people are partying over there. Um,
Period.
you see how them people
It's a
are partying over
quinceañera.
there?
It's a
They
quinceañera.
partying. Don't you party
Quinceañera.
too? You all party too. In your work to be better. I don't think I want to go any further, because I feel like this is heavy enough. Like, I feel
It
like
is
we got
heavy.
a lot. We
It's
got a
heavy.
lot. We got a lot to think about, and again, we are also digesting this and thinking about it
Oh yeah. Humble pie. Eating it every day.
every day. When I
Every day.
tell you, the Lord, I
Humble.
be thinking, I'm waking up like, oh, we got through that, and it be a mirror right in front of me, and I be like, oh, this is
My
just
lamb.
terrible. Just please
Help
help
me.
me.
Help me, please.
Help me. Help me, please. Help me.
Yeah. It's challenging. But you'll be better for it, you know? So We're
And
all getting
don't
better.
let um we talked about Cam Newton and his conversation with the
Dr.
therapist and the
Bryant. Mhm.
psychologist, Dr. Bryant,
Bryant.
last week. And we saw what he decided to put on his YouTube. Granted, you have to do what you need to do to go viral, but we know a piece of why he decided to name it the way he named it. And if you haven't seen how he named it, you can go take a look. It's something very condescending to the conversation that was had between him and her.
Mm.
So, Tarrah, any last thoughts for the people? We closing out because they partying and we done went deep.
I would just say take a look at your relationships. You need God. We all need God. It's no shame in that. We all need God.
Not the
We all
universe,
need.
God.
We all not the we Jesus the Christ, Jesus Christ. We for my people next door. Okay. Um, we all need God, and we all need to repent for pride. You in pride somewhere,
Let me
and
tell you, you think
it
you're not.
destroys relationships. It destroys marriages, friendships. You always think you're right. You always think you're God's gift and everybody wrong but you. That means you the
Yeah.
issue. If you think like that, you in fact are the private one. So I would say that pride is run rampant all the way around. And just check whatever you feel like you're more allegiant to than God is an idol, is it's a problem in your life, you know? And check those relationships if they're bringing you closer to your family, if they're bringing you closer to what your purpose is. And if it's not, you probably need to adjust them, and don't be afraid to do that, because at the end of the day, we're all gonna have to stand and face the Lord and be like, okay, what did you do with your life? And you can't say, well, my friends didn't want me to do it, so I didn't do it. Like, that's not gonna be acceptable. So yes, like, we have to be serious about our lives and who we are and who we're called to be, because it is serious. Like, we just can't be out here just doing whatever and just playing. We don't get a redo. This is not. We don't get a do over. So we have to do the best we possibly can, and we cannot do that if we are blinded by our own pride and our own arrogance. So that part,
I'm telling
and
you,
it's a process.
as someone who has dealt with pride and who still has to
We all still every day we all still, like,
knock it
yes,
off.
yes, we might deal with that blindness, but every day we have to humble ourselves and say, Lord, tell me, because I don't know, help me, I've missed it, so
Yes, we all do, and I appreciate that. But I'm talking to my people who know that it
that
is
monkey on
on
your
you,
back.
that monkey on your back, and they can't nobody tell you nothing. And it is just your world, and everybody a squirrel trying to get a nut.
Mm,
It's not that, okay? You're in error,
you're in error.
and it's gonna cost you.
It's gonna cost you.
It's going to cost you more
Yeah,
than you could imagine.
want to pay more than you want to pay.
Okay, I have lost some relationships that I shouldn't have
Mm,
because I was in error.
mm.
So, and I want to say this: you can come to terms about what you're dealing with and apologize, and that doesn't mean people will let you back into their space.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
And you got to also respect that. And if you take
Yep.
offense to it, you're still in error.
Yeah.
So, yes, but everything you said, let's just understand, like we said, great people are our greatest resource. I really believe that. We really believe that. And we are not treating people like that today. And we got to start treating people like that today.
And
Because
and get
tomorrow
it.
is not promised.
Yeah, and it's the right people too. And those same people, because they're so influential, they can be our greatest setback. So
Yes, duality.
duality.
You know who you should be pouring into. I think deep down we know.
Hmm.
Deep down we know who we should be letting go and who
Hmm.
we should continue to pour into. So
Yeah.
lean into who you feel like you should be holding on to and who you should be letting go.
Yeah.
If there's this divide where you're just like, I don't know, lean into God and just ask where
Yeah.
I should be pouring myself into, because you could have a plethora of people in your circle and then
Yeah.
maybe you should let some go, let all go. You never know.
You never
We're
know.
we're not telling you to get rid of everybody. We're just telling you to open your eyes. Really be aware of what's happening. All company ain't good company.
Huh? It's not.
Sometimes we keep people around because we're lonely. They are a reliance. We know we can call them.
Hmm.
Just because you can call that person at 2 a.m. doesn't mean they for your benefit. So just, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that is the end of our episode. I feel like we have dug deep. I don't want to go any deeper for my own sanity. I feel like I feel a little attacked myself. I want to go just curl into a ball with the
Listen,
Lord.
that's all of us. Okay.
I'm feeling a little attacked myself. But you all know where to find us. We are at Funny Podcast. That's FUNIPODCAST on all platforms. Instagram, Threads, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now X, whatever. We are also on YouTube, Friendship University Podcast. Catch these visuals with us week over week. I thank you for tuning in with us, with me and my deepest co-host,
Y'all
Erica,
hear this?
who be and she is
That
taking
took it
us
to
out.
another level, baby. It
The
is
party over there is
shaking the
jumping
building.
up. We love it. We out.